The Joe Rogan Experience.
So this anarchy thing, like, how serious are you about that?
100% serious.
100% serious.
Yes.
So anarchists think there should be no cops?
No, anarchists don't think there should be government cops. There should be private security.
Oh, private security. What if you're poor?
Well, same thing. No one wants to have a scenario. Like if you go to a bar, you're not paying for the doorman. Or if you're going to a hotel, you're not paying for the security. The point is whoever has an environment wants it to be as safe as possible.
Okay, stop right there.
Okay.
Because if you go into a bar, if you're buying a drink, the bar is taking some of the money from that drink to pay for that security.
Correct.
It's the same thing as you paying taxes.
It's not the same thing as you paying taxes.
Well, let's just look at it this way. It's just money into a pool, right?
It's not just money.
Okay, but hold, please. If you throw the money into a pool, but you didn't even let me explain.
Okay.
If you throw the money into the pool, okay, and obviously taxes get taken from you, it's different in that regard. But if you have a certain amount of money is going to go to protecting the people. And this is the idea of police force, and this is the idea of a bouncer. Sure. Or at least a bouncer is more likely acting in the interest of the club and trying to keep out bad people and trying to keep people from getting sued.
Sure.
But the money for the drinks goes to that. Some of it, a percentage of it goes to that.
Sure.
Much like your tax money, some of it goes to the cops.
Sure.
Right?
Correct. But the big difference is one is voluntary and one is forceful and one is a monopoly and one isn't. So if you had a free system, you would have more security because the streets would have someone doing security and the bar and the store, and they would be complementary to each other as opposed to you only have to dial 911. Wouldn't it be, look how many dating sites there are, right? Wouldn't it be great if instead of one number, you had dozens of places that are going to offer you security?
So like private businesses that work like Uber, you give them a call when you're getting raped? Like you press a button?
Sure.
One with the dude with his pants down, you press a button and then someone shows up?
We have that now. And
What do we have now?
I mean, if you go to a apartment building or a business building, there is going to be security there already. You're not going to, you're not going to call the cop. You're going to call the downstairs.
Those people are just book readers.
Sure.
They're sitting there playing with their phone. They used to be book readers. Now they're phone players.
Well, I'd rather they be reading books than shooting dogs. So that's where we are.
Right. I see what you're saying. In terms of, that's the grossest shit ever when you see SWAT teams show up and shoot people's dogs and people get...
And that's the problem with having a monopoly is there's no consequences.
Yes.
So there's all these cases where, dogs get shot, the flash grenade in the baby's crib. Yeah. These people aren't like Eric Garner. The only person who got in trouble for Eric Garner dying is the guy who filmed it. I mean, if you are a cook and you are serving food and you undercook chicken, it's a mistake, honest mistake, and someone gets sick, that shouldn't be your job. But if you're a police officer often, and I'm going to get a lot of heat for this, and that's fine, if something bad happens as a consequence of your actions, there have to be consequences that maybe this isn't the right job for you.
Well, oftentimes there is. If there's an inappropriate shooting or something along those lines, but I think you're right. And I mean, I've experienced abusive cops. I think we all have. And I also think that it's very, very, very difficult to be that guy every day and not become abusive and not become worn out by it, not become extremely stressed out. I'm a big supporter of police. I just don't think that it's a job for everybody. I think being a cop is like a lot of other jobs that are, especially that one, that's super fucking difficult. The idea that you just hire people off the street and run them through some tests and they're going to make great cops.
I agree.
It's crazy.
I agree. And what happens is when you're a monopoly, you don't have to be efficient or effective.
I think they should hire former military. That's what I think.
Have a police state.
Hire people. No, hire people that have discipline. Hire people that have gone through some experience in actual combat, who know how to handle pressure better, and then make it a very, very valuable job, and make it a very strict codes of conduct and behavior and action.
I think another problem the police have in their defense is when you have public streets, people have certain rights and they can act however they like. Here in LA, you have all these people, these tents, and I thought my understanding is the government said you can't clear out those tents.
That is hilarious, isn't it?
And now the cops can't do anything, so they are hamstrung from being able to do their jobs. Whereas if this was private, this would not be happening.